conversational. He hadn't been around.
Well, we noticed some themes emerging. Some of the themes are some of the themes that are emerging are men discovering their more feminine aspects of intuition and flow and creativity and being able to appreciate softness and beauty and uh, not have to hold up a certain stature of macho-ness that obscures their recognition of those qualities or obscures their ability to dress or to look for particular accessories at work but may not fit the standard. And the other themes that are emerging are what to do with all that extra testosterone or what to do with all of the particular expression of anger or rage and how to be with that, how to transmute it, how to let it out without hurting anyone or hurting themselves. The other theme that's coming is being able to recognize and bring things into consciousness without the male bashing from outside or from within. It's being able to accept who we are right now, as men and as women and as humans and as an invasive species on the planet, or and how to live harmoniously together. That's emerging, and men are starting to discover certain aspects that they once considered manly. Now they're looking at it as it's like some of those accoutrements that they've held on to that they consider manly are seen now as getting in their way. What have you been seeing, Robert, emerging from this?
There's this back and forth between the new man in recognition of the feminine should like serve the goddess. Mm-hmm. And on one side, it's like get into your feminine and serve the goddess. There's another aspect of the new man that says, but you need your manly side. You can't just serve the goddess. You have a contribution to make as a man with your male energy.
Rob Bresney's macho feminism.
Macho feminism, right.
And
how much of that martial, aggressive force that men have, which is their gift as well as their problem, should be used.
Well, is it how much to use or how to use it? So it's not using you.
It's really working on yourself to be able to marshal that energy, because that's what men have. Men have that incredible, strong energy of what it is to be a male, and to use that in the service of good things.
You know, that thing that men say, well, you know, we try to be a nice guy, but women just want it. They want an asshole. They want a guy who's, you know, one of those, you know, what do they call them?
Exciting, dangerous.
It's cool.
Challenging,
it's, you know, they're a little...
Sexy.
Yeah, they hold back.
Can't really control them.
Yeah.
They like the guys that they can't dominate.
Well,
They like
a challenge. They don't like men giving up their search for their self or looking deeper into themselves and instead serving the goddess. That was one theme, which is men, you know, like Rob Bresney's macho feminism, men really finding their that Mars energy and their martial power, and yet doing it in service of the feminine, like the mind in service of the heart, or our action in service of our intuition. And then the other theme is the acceptance for where we are and who we are without judgment. Jack talking about bumping into himself in all his adolescent fantasies, and instead of judging it, he got to a place of accepting it because he wasn't being judged, and he could see other people being able to freely express that aspect of themselves, and it was all just part of the play. Then there is that aspect of not assuming things. Like sometimes like Jack, when he was he wanted to interact with this woman, but she was so beautiful he didn't know how to interact except from some old fantasies of adolescent of, well, I should come on to her and I should try to, or I should just turn the other way, or she didn't know how to be with her. And he was also assuming how she was going to react to how he'd be with her. Whereas the one that felt was out of judgment, out of he wouldn't have taken it personally however she reacted and didn't assume how she would react. He just walked up to her and go, like this beautiful bee, my, aren't you? In her case, beautiful, and aren't you beautiful? There was men talking about listening, learning how to listen. And that's a big one. Like they would talk about humility, and then it became obvious that humility was about learning how to listen. As you keep looking at what's wrong, I'm like this, and I need to do this, and I need to do that, that's still that quality that you can't, it's like getting out of how do you break that cycle? You break it by, instead of, you know, you receive, you listen. You listen for what's coming. And that, so I hear that whether it's kind of unconsciously groping for how to get out of this cycle of self-absorption or narcissism, or seeing what the world needs, seeing how they interconnect, seeing where they can make a difference, seeing where they're gonna, like Tom says, finding their meaning and the meaning in life, their purpose in life, and looking for that, they need to learn to listen for what feeds them and what feeds life around them. And that was one of the themes, is really being and allowing what's there to surface, to see it, and not judging it, which is hard not to do when you see things surfacing that, you know, you're like, oh my God, look what I'm doing, look what that is creating, look at the suffering to others and to myself that's making. But at the same time, there's no way to have something different if you don't first see what's there. And then it's learning really how to listen and to receive and to sit quietly, to watch and to listen